Good evening, I'm Tyrone. Here with my colleague Roderick in the studio. Tonight's forecast will be cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms, a low of 46 and a high of 60. Winds coming out of the northeast.
Now we'll take you into the field with Shaniqua, who is on the scene of the shirtwaist factory fire that occurred a couple hours ago. It has been said that the fire marshal concluded to be caused by a cigarette butt being thrown into a bin, which caused a spark that created a fire. Shaniqua, how's it going down there?
Thanks, Roderick. I am currently on the scene where the fire took place recently. It is a tragic scene down here, and there is a lot of damage that has been done. Here with me today, I have Mabel, who is one of the victims that survived the fire. Hello, Mabel.
Hi.
So where were you before the fire occurred?
I was on the 9th floor working.
So what were you doing while on the 9th floor?
Well, the brake bell just rang and we were on our way down to take our breaks when the instructor came up and started yelling, "Fire, fire." Then suddenly everybody began to panic and rush down the stairs to the locked doors and yelling, "Open them."
How did you get through the panic?
I was at the top of the staircase near the working elevator when the instructor came, and when it finally came up, me and 11 others rushed into the elevator and we were able to make it out the front door.
What was going through your head as you were trying to escape and saw that people were resorting to throwing themselves out the windows?
I was thinking that this is really bad and a lot of people are going to die and there's nothing I can do but watch.
How did you feel about the working conditions?
I feel that no one should ever have to work in these working conditions, and if they don't change them, nobody's going to be able to work.
What kind of things would you say needed to be fixed in your working environment?
In my opinion, I think sanitation control should be improved. They shouldn't lock the doors so we can't get out in case of emergency. Fire hoses should be checked on a regular basis, and sprinkler systems should be installed, and they should install child labor laws.
How many workers would you say were inside the building before the fire occurred?
I would say there were 500 workers at the beginning of the day, and after the fire, only 355 survived.
Thank you, Mabel. I know it probably wasn't the easiest thing for you to talk to us as soon as you did. After the trauma that you have just endured a couple of hours ago, we really do appreciate you being here. This tragic event has took a toll on all of us, and our deepest sympathy goes out to all of the victims' friends and families. May you all be in our prayers. Now we'll take you back to Tyrone and Roderick in the studio.
Yes, you will all be in our prayers. Thank you, Shaniqua.
That's it for today's news. Stay classy, New York.
One 146 people died that Saturday. 125 of them young women. They were on the 8th, 9th, and 10th floor of the Ash Building in New York City in Greenwich Village. They couldn't get out the main exit. They raced towards the exit gate, and the exit door was locked. And when the police found the women's bodies the following day, they could see the fingernails were torn off the women as they clawed to try to get out. They were completely trapped in an inferno. And many of the workers went out of the window and jumped to their death, went 100 feet down to Green Street. People on the ground looked at these bodies coming down, and they thought that they were bales of clothing. They were horrified when they saw that these were young women leaping from the building. And they did it so that their parents would have their bodies. There was such outrage over the murder of these 146 workers that 100,000 workers marched in the funeral procession. 400,000 people lined the streets. And the cry was, who was going to protect the working girl? Unions came together with religious organizations, women's groups, community groups, and they demanded change. Automatic sprinkler systems were demanded. Fire exits could never be locked again, and they have to open out the way. This all happened within 2 months, and for the next 30 years, the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire gave this momentum so that by 1938, we had the Fair Labor Standards Act. We had minimum wage laws, time and a half laws for overtime. Workers had the right to organize. By 1938, there wasn't any sweatshops in the United States. They had been wiped out. The middle class was built in this struggle.